Yes, good morning to all. I, Dr. Devesh Pandil, Associate Professor in Suraj Gyar Vihar University, accredited by NAC A grade. Today, I will discuss about normalization. Normalization is the main important topic of your database management system. Before start the normalization, I will discuss about database management system. Database management system where you will store the data, where you will manage the data, is called the database management system. And normalization is the main important topic of your DBMS. Without normalization, your DBMS is nothing. If you are managing a database of any enterprise and you are not using the normalization, so you can't success your database of your enterprise. And now I am discussing about the normalization. I am sharing my PPT. Without normalization, any database can't complete because of through the normalization you will reduce the duplicacy, you will reduce the redundancy. That's why we will use the normalization. I hope you can see my screen. When I will discuss about the normalization in this lecture, I will cover so many topics like your object and outcome of your normalization, why we will use the normalization, and after studied the normalization, what will outcome of this topic, that is your normalization. And now I will also cover the what is normalization, anomalies in your DBMS, and normal forms of your normalizations, advantage of your normalization, okay, and your disadvantage of your normalization. Why we are using the normalization? What is the object of your normalization? What is the result of your normalization? If you will not use the normalization, what will happen? And if you will use the normalization, what will happen? That's why I am saying your normalization is the most important topic of your DBMS. normalization, you know, your normalization, as per I had told, this is the important topic of your DMS. Without normalization, your DBMS can't complete. Suppose if you are making a database of any enterprise and your normalization is not exist in your database, that time your database is nothing because you have not used the normalization in your database. Like that, suppose you are making a database of any enterprise, and in your database there are many records are existing in many times. Suppose student is your RAM and RAM record is existing many times. Okay. If your RAM record is existing is many times, and if you want to change the address of your RAM, obviously your RAM address will change in all rows which are connected to your RAM. That time you will obviously face the problem. That time you will obviously face the problem. Okay, that's why you will use the normalization. Okay, and normalization has on object and normalization has your own outcome. If you will, student will learn about the normalization. So why student is learning about the normalization? If you student will not learn the normalization, so what will happen? And if you student will learn about the normalization, so what will happen? Okay, and now I am sharing my PPT. I hope you can see. And now I am discussing about object and outcome of your normalization. If we will talk about the object of your normalization, it is used to remove the duplicacy data. As per I had told, the main purpose of your normalization used to remove the duplicacy data. Duplicacy data means your redundancy. Suppose, as per I had told, suppose my record is coming in many times in your database. Suppose your student is your table and student has many columns like your student name, student father name, student address, and your student city. And first of all, you have to insert the RAM record. Name is RAM, RAM address, RAM city, and RAM is your pin code number. And in a second column, again you are inserting the RAM record in your database. So this is your duplicacy. And normalization will use the remove the duplicacy. Okay, and your normalization, as per I had told, your normalization help to reduce redundancy and complexity by examine new data types used in the table. And as per I had told, it avoid the duplicacy, it avoid the redundancy in your database management system. You know, in every database, normalization is the mandatory. Normalization is essential because your without normalization, You can't remove the redundancy, you can't remove the duplicacy. That's why we will use the normalization. And if we will talk about the outcome of your normalization, as per I had told, if you are if a student will learn about the normalization, so what will happen? Why student learn the normalization? You know, database normalization is the process of organizing data into tables in such a way that the result of using the database are always unambiguous. Okay, you know, as per I told, normalization is the process of your organizing data into your tables, and your data will organize in such a way your result of using the database is always unambiguous. It may have the effect of your duplicate data within the database and often result in the creation of additional tables. That is the outcome of your database. Main key focus of your object and your outcome of your database is that with the normalization, redundancy will reduce. With the normalization, your duplicacy will reduce. That's why we will use the normalization. And now I will discuss about what is normalization. You know, normalization is the process of your organizing data in database to avoid the redundancy, to avoid the duplicacy. Ins- Insertion anomaly, update anomaly, and your deletion anomaly. Okay, so as per I had told, your normalization is the process of your manage the data, organize the data in the database for avoid the redundancy, for avoid the duplicacy. There are so many anomalies when you will use the database, and also you can say that many anomalies in your normalization. First is your insertion anomalies, second is your update, and the third is your deletion anomalies. And I will discuss all anomalies one by one. Suppose you are having a table, and in your table there are so many records, and in this table I have taken four attributes. First is your employee ID, second is your employee name, third is your employee address, and fourth is your employee department. These are the four attributes of your table. These are the four columns of your table. Okay, and in this table, you have to insert it records. Your first record is that, and in your first record, your employee ID is that 101, employee name is your Rick, and employee address is your Delhi, and employee department is your D001. And the second record of this table is that employee ID 101, employee name is Rick, and employee address is your Delhi, and your employee department is your D002. Okay, and you have to already inserted the so many records like your employee ID is your 123, employee name is your Maggie, employee address is your Agra, and employee department is your D890. and you have to insert it on any other records in your table. And you can see in this record, in this table, you have to insert it the one record which have employee ID is your 101 and your employee name is your Rick and employee address is your Delhi are repeating two times. In your first time, employee ID is your 101, employee name is your Rick, RICK, employee address is your Delhi, and employee department is your D001. And the same record in which your employee ID is your 101, you can see in this table, your 101 employee ID is coming two times. And in the same manner, your Rick employee name coming two times and your Delhi employee address is coming two times and your employee department in two records both are different. Okay. And now I am talking about the update anomaly. And I am taking the above table as per I had discussed. You can see as per I had told in the above table, we have two rows for employee Rick as he is belong to two department of the company. And suppose if you want to update the address of your Rick, suppose I want to update the address of Rick. Okay, then we have to update the same in your two row or the data will become inconsistent. In this previous table, as per I had discussed, your employee ID 101 is coming two times, employee name Rick is coming two times, and your employee address is coming two times. Okay, and I suppose I want to update the address of your Rick. Okay, if I will update the address of your Rick, so your address update the same into two row. If your address same in the two row or the data will become inconsistent, the correct address gets updated in one department but not in other. Then as per the database, Rick would be having two different addresses, and which is not correct. So that is your update anomaly. Okay, you can see in this image when you will update the address of your Rick, so your address will update in two times. Okay, that time your data will be inconsistent. Okay, and now I am talking about the insert anomaly. I am taking the as per I have mentioned the table in my previous slide. Suppose your new employee joined the company and who is under the training and currently not assigned to any department. Means when your new employee will join the company who is under training and currently not assigned to any department, then we would not be able to insert the data into a table if employee department field does not allow nulls. Okay, this is your insert anomaly. And third is your delete anomaly. When I am talking about the delete anomaly, suppose if at a point the time the company closed the department and department name is your D890, D890, and then deleting the row that are having employee department as D890, would also delete the information of employee Maggie since she is assigned only to his department. You can see in this my previous slide. Okay, you can see in this table. This is your delete anomaly. Means if at a point of your time the company close the department, that is your D890, and then deleting the row that we having employee department as D890 would also delete the information of the employee Maggie since she is assigned only to this department. This is your delete anomaly. And to avoid these anomaly, we need to normalize the data. So I think, I hope you have to understood about the why we will use the normalization. What is the need of your normalization? Okay. So to solve this problem, to solve these anomalies, we need to normalize the data. Okay. And how many types of your normalization? What are the normal forms of your normalization? So before discussing about normal form of your normalization, I will discuss about the functional dependency, because your functional dependency will use in your normalization. If you are using the normalization and you don't know about your functional dependency, obviously you will face the problem. Okay, that's why we will use the that's why I will discuss about the functional dependency. In your functional dependency is a constraint that determine the relation of one attribute to the another attribute in your database. So you can see, if we use the if we you will use the normalization, so your functional dependency will use. So before discussing about the normalizations form of your normalization, we should understand about the functional dependency. So your functional dependency functional dependency is your constraint. Functional dependency also is your rule that determine the relation from one attribute to another attribute. I think about the relation. Obviously your relation that determine from between the from your one entity to another entity. There are so many relations, and you can also define the father son relation, mother son relation, mother daughter relation. Okay, your functional dependency is your rule, is your constraint that determine the relation between the one attribute to another attribute in your database management system. Functional dependency help to maintain the quality of your data in the database. You can say that your functional dependency help to maintain the quality of your data. And also you can say that that is the advantage of your functional dependency. Through the functional dependency, you can maintain the quality of your data in your database, and it play a role to find the difference between good and bad database design. Obviously, if we will talk about the good database means where you will use the normalization, and your bad database when where you will not use the normalization. And functional dependency is denoted by the arrow. Always when you will use the functional dependency, your functional dependency will use the arrow. And the functional dependency of x and y is represented by x arrow y. Means if you want to represent the functional dependency between x and y both are two variable. So your functional dependency, you will represent x arrow y. I had already told about the representation of your functional dependency. Your functional dependency will always represent by the arrow. And now you can see in this example, employee. I am taking a table, and in this table, there are four attributes: your employee number, employee name, salary, and your city. Okay, and in this table, I have already inserted the three record your in which your employee number is your 1, 2, and 3. Employee name is your Dana Francis, and your Android, and your salary this, and your salary this. Okay, so here I have taken a table for understand the concept of your functional dependency. But when you will use the functional dependency, when you will discuss about the functional dependency, always you should keep one thing in your mind: your functional dependency is always represented by the arrow. Okay, if you are taking the two variable like your x and y, and you want to represent the functional dependency between them, so you will write the x arrow y. Okay, and in this example, as per I have shown in my previous slide, if we know the value of employee number, we can obtain the employee name, city, and salary. As per I had said, I am taking a table in which your employee number, employee name, employee city, employee salary, etc., etc. You know, if you know about the employee number, suppose you are working in your enterprise and in which your 1 lakh employee are working, obviously your all your employee will have your employee id. Your all employee will have your employee number, and through the employee number you can identify the employee. As per like every employee has a PIN card. If we will talk about your teacher, so every teacher have a registration number in your college. Yeah, if you will talk about the student, so every student has an enrollment number, and through the enrollment number you can identify a particular student. Through the Aadhaar card number you can identify a particular employee. You can identify a particular citizen. And as per mention, I had table in my previous slide. You can see in which I have taken the four attributes: employee number, employee name, salary, and your city. If you know about the employee number, so through the employee number you can identify the particular employee. If you know about the employee number, you can identify the employee name, employee salary, and your employee city. Okay. Why this? We can say that the city, employee name, and your salary are functionally dependent on your employee number. Okay, so this is the example of your functional dependency. Now I am taking another example of your functional dependency. Suppose I am having a database of your student, and in your student table there are so many records: student enrollment number, student name, student city, and your student address. Okay, you know your student enrollment number is unique. Through the student enrollment number you can identify the student. Now you can say that if you know about the student enrollment number, so you can identify a particular student. That time you can say your student name, your student address, and your student city is depend on your student ID. If your student ID will change, obviously your student detail will change. Okay, that is the another one example of your functional dependency. Okay, and now after discussed about the functional dependency, I will talk about the normalization forms. Okay, your normalization forms are: first normal form, that is your 1NF; second normal form, and your third normal form, and your BCNF. Okay, first normal form, that is your 1NF; second normal form, that is your second NF; and your third normal form, that is your third NF; and your biocode normal form, that is your BCNF. Okay, and I will discuss one by one. First I will discuss about the first normal form, and after that I will discuss about the second normal form, and after that I will discuss about the third normal form, and in last I will discuss about the BCNF. Okay, and now I am discussing about the first normal form. Okay, as per the rule of your first normal form, an attribute, attribute also you can say that your column of a table cannot hold the multiple value. It should hold always the only atomic value. This is the key concept. This is your fundamental concept of your first normal form. First normal form means attribute and your column of a table cannot hold the multiple value. Always your attribute will hold only the atomic value. This is the main primary concept of your first normalization form. And for understand the first normalization form, I am taking a example, and in this example I am taking a table. Okay, in this table there are four attributes: employee ID, employee name, employee address, and employee mobile number. And your employee IDs are 101, 102, 103, and your 104. Employee name are different, like your Herschel, John, Ron, and Lester, and your employee address and your employee mobile. In this table, you can see your employee ID, that is your 1022, having the two mobile number. Means your particular this employee who have employee ID 102 having the two mobile number. First is your 8812121212, and second is your 990001 and 4 times 2. Okay, so now you can see this table is not in your first normalization form, because as per the rules of your first normalization form, every attribute, every column will hold only the atomic value, will not hold the multiple value. But here your column employee phone number, your attribute employee phone number having the multiple value, having the two value. Okay, that's why your this table is not in your normalization form. So that time required the first normal form. Okay, we employ John and Esther are having the two mobile number, so the company stored them in the same field, as you can see in the table above, as per I had discussed, and I had already told about the your this table is not in your first NF because your each attribute of a table must have atomic value, and the employee mobile value are employee John and Lester violate that rule. You can see in this table your first normalization form, and now you can see in this table the rule of your first normalization form is your boilet. Means here in this table your first normalization rule is not applying, and to make table this complies with one NF, we should have the data like this: employee ID, employee name, employee address, and your employee mobile. And you can see in this table your employee ID 101, employee name Herseshal, employee address New Delhi, and your mobile number is unique, and your employee ID 102. Zone is your employee name, Kanpur, mobile number is different, and your 102 John Kanpur. Means you will decompose the table. You can see in this table your each attribute, your each column have the atomic value. That's why your this table is in your 1NF. Again, I am telling about your first normalization form rule. In your first normalization form rule, your each column, your each attribute of your table will hold the only atomic value, not a multiple value. If your column will hold the multiple value, so that time your table is not in your 1NF. And if you want to apply this table in your 1NF, so always you should keep one thing in your mind: your every attribute, your every column will hold only atomic value. That is the basic concept, that is a primary concept of your 1NF. Okay, and now after discussing about the 1NF, I will discuss about the second NF. When I will discuss about the second NF, so you will follow some rules. Your table is said to be in your second NF only if both the following the two condition. First is your table should be in your 1NF. Your table should be in your first normal form. Okay, and in your second, no non-prime attribute is dependent on the proper subset of any candidate key of your value. That these are the two both conditions are applying in your second NF. Here your subset and your candidate key, two new term will use, and I will discuss about the candidate key and your subset. Okay, I am not explaining in briefly about the candidate key and your subset. I will give the overview of your candidate key. You know, candidate key is the your set of attributes, and through the set of attributes you will identify a particular row, you will identify a particular tuple. This is your candidate key. And if we will talk about your subset, subset is the term of your mathematics. You know, in your mathematics, if you are taking a two set, first set is your A and second set is your B, and if your A set having some elements and your B set having some elements, if your some element of your A are existing in your set B, okay, so that time B is the subset of your A. Okay, and candidate key is your set of your attributes. Through this you can identify a particular record, you can identify a particular tuple. This is your candidate key. So as per I had told, only both conditions are required in your second NF. First, your table should be in your 1NF, and second, no non-prime attribute is dependent on the proper subset of any candidate key of your value. If your both rule will follow, so your table should be in your second normalization form. In your example of your second normalization form, suppose a school want to store the data of teachers and your subject and the subjects they teach. They create a table of your look like this. Since a teacher can teach more than one subject and the table can have multiple row for a same teacher. You can see your teacher ID is 111, teacher ID 111, subject is your maths and physics, and your teacher is your 38 and your 38. Okay. Here is your candidate key, teacher ID, and your subject. Because if you will combine the two attributes, your teacher ID and your subject, so through the teacher ID and your subject, you can identify a particular teacher. Okay, mean this is your candidate key, and your non-prime attribute that this is your teacher age. Okay, you know the table is in 1NF because your each attribute has an atomic value. And as per I had told, if you will follow in your 1NF rule, so your each attribute of your table should have the only atomic value, not a multiple value. But this table is not in your second NF because non-prime attribute, that is your teacher age, dependent on your teacher ID alone, which is a proper subset of your candidate key. You know, teacher ID is the proper subset of your candidate key, and your teacher age is dependent on a teacher ID along with a proper subset of your candidate key. So obviously here violate the rule of your second NF. Okay, and teacher ID this, and your teacher age this, and your another table, your teacher subject table, teacher ID this, and your subject is this. So here I have to discuss about the normalization form. As per I discussed your first normalization form and your second normalization form, and remaining normalization forms are your third normalization form and your BCNF, and your third NF and your BCNF I will discuss in my next lecture. And now I am presenting the some multiple choice questions which are related to this course, to this lecture. You can see in this question, in the normal form, a composite attribute is converted to individual attribute. Obviously, your answer will A, because the first normal form is used to eliminate the duplicate information. And in your next question, a table on the many side of your one to many or many to many relationship must, and so obviously have a composite key. The relation is in second normal form, is also in a first normal form, and no partition dependency on the column is in the primary key. And next question is that table is on second normal form. So you know the relation is in second normal form if this is also in your first normal form and no partition dependency on the column in a primary key. Which one of the following statement about normal form is your false? Obviously, we say that the decomposition is a lossless decomposition if there is no loss of your information by replacing relation with two relation schema. I mean, these are the so many questions which are related from this topic. So after studied this topic, student will learn about the normalization, why need the normalization, what are the anomalies of your what are the anomalies of your normalization. Okay, and also I am discussing about the some questions which are related to this lecture. Functional dependency are the types of constraints that are based on functional dependency. I had also discussed about the functional dependency in this lecture. You know, your functional dependency will always represented by the arrow. If you are having the two variable x and y, and you want to represent the functional dependency between x and y, so you will represent the x arrow y. And if I will take the example of a functional dependency. Suppose I am having a table, and the table of a student record, and the student record in your student record there are so many fields like your student name, student father name, student mother name, and your student ID. So you know through the student ID you can identify the student record. Through the student ID you can identify a particular student. So here your student name, student mother name, student father name, student address is depend on your student ID. This is the one most example of your functional dependency. So here your answer is that key and your key revised state and your super key and none of the mentioned. Obviously your answer will be a key. Key is your basic element needed for the constraint. And which is the bottom-up approach to database design, that designed by the examining the relationship between the attributes. And your options are functional dependency, database modeling, normalization, and decomposition. Obviously your answer will be normalization. I had already discussed about the normalization in this lecture. You know, your normalization is the process of your removing the redundancy. Process is the removing the unwanted data. Process the removing the duplicacy. And which form simplify that ensure that there are minimal data aggregates and repetitive groups. Your options are 1NF, second NF, third NF, and your all ABC. So obviously, your answer will be in C. The first normal form is used to eliminate the duplicate information. And now, which form has a relation that possesses data about an individual entity? So obviously, your answer will be C. A table is in 4NF if and only if for every one of your non-trivial multi-value dependency X, where X is your super key, that is, X is either a candidate key or a superset, and your which form are based on a concept of your functional dependency. The table is in the 3NF is every non-prime attribute of a R is non-transitively dependent. I will discuss about the transitively dependent in my next lecture. Here I have also here I have discussed only about the functional dependency. Means after studied this lecture, student will able to learn what is normalization, how to apply the concept of your normalization, how to apply the first normal form in your database, how to apply the second normal form in your database. Okay, and my and your next normalization form, that is these are your third NF and your fourth NF, I will discuss in my next lecture. I hope you have understood about the concept of your normalization. Thank you.